Welcome everyone. Good evening. As it's Sunday night, and we thought we would do something a little fun. Actually, this is live stream on my channel with the new name. So, we thought we would make it something fun and fitting as well. Pale Blue Mama Earth Climate Science. So, this week I stumbled upon a new PragerU video about climate change, and we know how brilliant they are at PragerU and how their science is always super spot on. Now, I decided not to actually watch it, so that at least I don't know if you guys, any of you have seen it yet, but I haven't watched it. So
how do you know it's going to be terrible?
It's PragerU.
So how do you know it's going to be terrible then?
Could be very informative.
PragerU.
Could be factual.
Yep.
There's no way this was paid for with oil money. No way at all.
Right? So we will do some introductions. We have a new member tonight. My friend from Twitter, Hein de Haan, who lives in the Netherlands. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do? Please, and welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda. My name's Hein. I work as a front-end developer. I'm AI graduate 5 years ago. I live in the Netherlands, in Groningen, for if people know that city in the north of the Netherlands.
Which makes him doubly awesome, because everybody knows that I'm Dutch myself. My father is from Rotterdam, and Hein and I met on Twitter. You don't have a YouTube channel, right? But someday.
Well, I have a very small channel, but I haven't been very active on YouTube. Yeah.
I am so sorry.
No. It's I haven't done anything.
If you put your link in our private chat here, Robbie will add it to the description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I already have your Twitter. I have your Twitter down below.
Me right now, Robbie.
But seriously, you guys, follow him. You were brilliant and you were funny. Always a fun follow on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
And that's how we met and became friends. So really cool guy. Thank you so much for coming. Throwing you kind of in the deep end here with us, but we have a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me, Amanda. It's awesome.
Cool. Anybody else need to introduce themselves, or do we know who you are?
I'm Brian. I talk about bugs.
I'm Dave. I have a show on Tuesday nights. We do quizzes.
I'm MathPig, and I have a pigsty.
I guess
There's Amanda. She has a son.
No. Yes. I have. My name is Angel. I'm a 17-year-old boy. With my chair. Okay. Love you. That's my kid.
You need to raise your sign behind you up about like 4 or 5 inches.
The suck my dick one? Yeah, I know. I could
Yeah, there you
go. There you go.
See, she's trying. Now it's all a boob shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which.
Speaking of boobs.
Tonight is the Women's NCAA Championship game. It actually started over an hour ago. I don't know what the score is. If anybody, in the chat wants to throw up the score every once in a while, my alma mater, that's why we're wearing a shirt, the U of A, is playing Stanford for the championship. And so, fingers
Is it
crossed.
on YouTube, Amanda?
What are you talking about?
Sports.
Women's basketball, yes. The sports with the balls and the hoops and all the woo.
Hoopy one.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah. I quite like the hoopy one sometimes.
It's probably somewhere. The thing was that in fact the state I'm from, Yukon, has they have the Yukon Huskies, which are the winningest NCAA team ever because they won 11 championships under this one coach, and they played Arizona the other night, which was weird because like I grew up with UConn and I love them, but they're playing my alma mater, so but U of A wins. So anyway, sorry, I'm babbling about that. What are we doing tonight, you guys?
Something about climate change. I don't know. It's your channel.
You talked us into something dealing with PragerU.
Yeah.
Who's PragerU?
Oh,
Did you not see the intro?
No.
How can he say something so ridiculous?
PragerU is a grifting organization that hires pseudo celebrities to provide economic and scientific misinformation.
Am I wrong? Are they not giving out their own PhDs now?
Oh,
Pretty
please, God,
much.
no.
I'm sure I read something saying that they
Please,
are going.
no.
I think I was going to say everybody should just sum it up in their own words what PragerU is. So Brian went, Hein, how would you describe it, PragerU?
Well, I don't know them that well. I guess I've seen them a few times in some response videos from atheist activists. Yeah, didn't really seem like a channel I could learn a lot from. So yeah, I believe they do a lot of Christian, like arguing for God's existence, or I don't know them that well, to be honest.
I would call them a conservative Christian full of fucking shit channel led by a big fat Egypt with a dead dog. Sorry.
I was gonna say the dog, it's Schrodinger's dog.
Robbie's pulling no punches tonight.
Remember the last time, because we've done one PragerU video before, we just sat there the whole time like, the dog is fucking dead, right?
Dog, yeah. I think that was a night channel. Yeah, the dog was just dead.
It just didn't move at all.
Dave?
There is nothing redeeming about it. It is just propaganda. I mean, I saw your introduction, and if your introduction is anything like this video that's coming up,
The introduction I made.
Yes.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with this video at all, but it has just excerpts from PragerU. And man, that took me all of 5 minutes of searching. It was just...
They have lots of videos on the topic, don't they?
Oh.
They go on and on about it.
It's just declaring it's propaganda.
Yeah.
It's outright propaganda. It's not. There's nothing good about it.
So, a question that you've actually asked on your channel, Dave, is propaganda ever a good thing?
Yes.
Under what circumstance?
When it agrees with me.
Well,
Wow.
that's not even a bad position to take. It's apt. We all have our own level of what we accept as propaganda. We have our own interpretation of the world around us, and things that agree with that are not propaganda, and things that disagree with that are propaganda to us. So,
No, I'd say whether or not you're lying. I think that's where I would say the line crosses from to propaganda, and this is where I say PragerU is propaganda.
Mhm.
well, there's a grift there. There's a grift.
Yes. Yeah.
But the question, like I said, though, is can propaganda ever be a good thing? What do you think, Hein?
Well, yeah, if you take lying into the definition of propaganda, then I'd say it's wrong. Yeah.
What if a certain lie, just saves millions of lives, though?
It tends to come back and bite us later.
Yeah.
Like a popular politician making a video saying that all the ice caps will have melted by 1998, and
I value truth too much to accept propaganda as a good thing ever. If the definition of propaganda is going to include a lie, I think propaganda can accidentally be true, but the intentions behind it are what really matter to what make it propaganda or not. If there's no if it's produced unethically, which I think is should be part of the definition of propaganda as well. Whether or not that is accidentally true doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I wasn't advocating for it. I was just being an advocate.
No, we've already judged him. It's fine.
Ends justify
That's
the
okay.
means. That's it. You're
Canceled.
No, it is. Look at my last video. It says canceled. So there's, the last one at least. That last bitch. I'll say her name anymore.
Oh man.
We're not allowed to say Momma anymore.
No, I have Momma. Just not the A word, I guess. I don't know. What about you, Robbie?
what I think of PragerU.
No, about if can propaganda ever be a good thing?
I 100% agree with Hein. If propaganda in the definition involves lying, then no.
Mm-hmm.
Using information to put forth your agenda, provided that it's true information, I have no problem with that. But once you take lying into it, no.
But Dave has called my channel Spider Propaganda, and I do not lie. So
You do. You call them cute.
they're
That is
adorable.
That's objectively wrong. Show me them in a hat.
Challenge accepted.
Oh God. Oh no. Now I want to see them. This is your next video. I want to see you crafting little mini spider hats. That's what we need. Definitely.
You did see the mantis hats, right? Dave tagged me in some mantis hats.
I was on Twitter.
Yeah.
That was adorable. Okay, so let's pull this video up, Robbie, please.
1 second.
And also hi to everyone in the chat. So you talk that in chat and Titan and everybody. Hello, welcome. I'm sorry that I am subjecting you to this evening, but man, fuck it. If I gotta
You're all
watch
masochist. You're all masochist as you showed up in this live chat. We're not here to kink shame you either.
I object already. This is triggering me.
Oh no.
You're in a safe place, Dave.
Right. I think we're set up. Okay.
All right. You guys ready for this? And if you you just if you want to stop at any part, just shout. Hey, Hein. Everybody got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead, Robbie, please.
Do we need to destroy the environment to save it?
Is that even a question?
Ugh, I know it's real fucking strong.
5 seconds in.
Non sequitur, right?
That's the question I faced a few years ago. I co-founded a movement that was the precursor to the Green New Deal.
Oh, fuck your face, it was.
Author of Apocalypse Never.
Yeah.
President of Environmental Progress.
He's
Environmental progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of these guys that claims he used to be like a super environmental activist, but then, was woke to the fact that climate change is, he still believes in it, but he doesn't think that it's, a problem pretty much, and that we need to stop, that it's very dangerous for people like me and climate scientists in general, and any climate activists to try to push for change because it's dangerous because we're trying to save the world. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But...
Can I read a excerpt from a review of his book by a environmental scientist named Peter Gleich? It's a real short. Bad science and bad arguments abound. Real short and sweet right there.
Wow. So a glowing review then.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that I should send you some of these books I have. I have lots of kooky like conspiracy theory crap books about stuff like that.
You hit
What was
yourself?
that? Our Dying Sun. I'm going to send you that sometime, Amanda.
Do you hate
yeah.
yourself, Brian, or is there a reason behind this?
What's that?
You must hate yourself, or do you have an actual reason behind it?
No, I want to understand their arguments.
And
He's
want
the
us to
one-
buy their books?
It's fucking Matt Powell videos. So what do you think?
No, I argue with them on and they send me their books for free.
Ah,
Dude,
Yeah, I've been sent so many books.
I just have really cool, smart friends that send me their books, like Josh, Dr. Josh, and Aaron Lewis, and yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but you're up on the stage. I'm down in the mosh pit. So
who's having more fun?
Me, I'm having mine more fun. He enjoys doing that shit. I don't like. Okay, so I can't remember what kind of scientist this guy is, but I know it's not climate science. So go ahead and play it, Robbie, please.
It was called the New Apollo Project. If we could send a man to the moon, we reasoned, surely we could save our own planet. All we had to do was harness the power of the wind and the sun and get rid of fossil fuels. Compared to the original Apollo mission, how hard could that be? Well, it turned out to be very hard, practically impossible, in fact. The basic laws of physics and chemistry.
It didn't. It's not hard. It's literally a money equation.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees. Right, now he's going to teach us the basic laws of physics and chemistry now. Are we all paying attention?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Chemistry proved to be very stubborn. But as I did more and more research, something else began to trouble me. The prospect that pushing the planet toward wind and solar energy would actually cause more harm to the environment than good.
Amanda, please explain.
Whoa. Yeah.
Please
I'm
explain,
assuming
Amanda.
he's going to blame the production.
No, he's gonna go on to talk about like the land usage and stuff like that. Keep going, please. We'll come around to it.
There's no better example of this than what wind and solar energy do to birds. Industrial wind turbines, those giant generators of wind power, are the greatest new threat to golden and bald eagles.
Pardon, Brian?
He didn't even mention the windmill cancer. I'm just.
Yeah, I know, right? How about that?
It's not windmill cancer. It's making people gay.
Oh.
I thought that's the stuff that the frogs got.
No, the cancer too. Trump was very specific about that.
Are you saying the gaze is not a cancer?
Are you?
Now, I want to make something clear though. Granted, bird mortality is an issue with turbine farms and stuff like that. It's not enormous, but you'll see sometimes, a flock will fly through and it'll be littered on the ground. But you take into comparison the damage that a changing climate continues to do to every single ecosystem on the planet, wiping out bird species everywhere.
Yeah. This is a few dead birds.
Being worse.
It's a non-fair comparison. They are comparing it to not dead birds as opposed to the consequences of using what we're using now.
Let me clarify something here too. The mortality rate of birds due to wind turbines is comparable to what we see with radio and television towers. And if the capitalists can make a profit off of that, they don't really. You never saw any protests about birds getting killed when it came to putting up towers for your news for your television station.
What about buildings?
Right.
Buildings get hit by birds constantly,
especially with full length windows.
Yeah.
Hein, what do you think when you hear this bird mortality argument?
Yeah, I was also wondering about if you burn fossil fuels. I mean, apparently quite a lot of people are dying from that each year, so I guess birds are dying from that as well.
Yeah.
But also he's immediately talking about wind energy and solar energy, but he's not talking about nuclear energy, I guess, or
yeah. Not yet, no, because he's cherry picking right now because there's obviously more sustainable options than just wind and solar. But right now he's gonna pick on these two and make this a huge issue when it's really not.
Yeah, me and Amanda have talked about this. But I think all four of us here have talked about this in the past at length with the nuclear thing. We need to do a hybrid model to move towards the green energy. But we've innovated so much in our nuclear, in our technology to produce nuclear power. People think of every time, and we've come so far since then. That was what was that? That's almost 40 years ago.
And it doesn't matter. Even if we built Chernobyls and we had a Chernobyl happen every year, it would still be less deaths than the people dying from the output of fossil fuels.
Right.
They could be as unsafe as Chernobyl and still be better.
It's a matter of byproduct, yeah, and disposing a nuclear byproduct is a problem, but it's still a lot cleaner than disposing of fossil fuel byproduct. I mean, exponentially. So, sorry.
I've seen you've talked a few times on Twitter about nuclear. What do you think?
Well, I believe like the Netherlands also has a nuclear reactor. I guess not everybody here is a fan of that, but I think that the nuclear waste is like, I think there's like 1 cubic meter of waste each year, so it's not that much. Sorry for using
awful lot less than I would have thought myself, even at that.
Yeah.
And we're even working on technologies to be able to completely go with zero waste. So it's just. It's a matter of educating the public. At the moment, people are still very afraid of it. People don't have any grasp whatsoever on the scope of technologies and the amount of advancement that there has been, especially since things like Chernobyl and Three Mile Island. So, it's a good option. We just have to be able to lean on it. Again, it's more than just wind and solar. You can go ahead and play it, Robbie, please.
But the eagles are hardly the only ones threatened. Condors, owls, hawks, and falcons all fall prey to the turbine's mighty blades. Big wind, and believe me, there's a
I heard mighty blades, like it's
big wind industry
big
now.
Wind.
Yeah.
Just like there's big oil and big pharma. Claims that house cats kill more birds than wind turbines. That's true, but whereas cats kill small, common birds like sparrows, wind turbines kill big, threatened with extinction and slow to reproduce species like bald eagles and condors.
No, there are small, slow to reproduce, endangered, rare species of birds in orders of magnitude more than the bigger charismatic eagles and birds of prey. There are lots of little dull-colored birds that are rare in the U.S. that get overlooked because they're not huge and charismatic or whatever, just kind of dull and plain. So that's BS what he just said right there.
You all right there, Brian?
Yeah, I'm good.
Species, the larger species, the ones that are more prone toward endangerment, are the ones that are going to be affected at a higher rate because of climate change.
Fossil fuels dumping into waterways, or fossil fuel byproduct dumped into waterways is terrible for eagles, especially the bald eagle that this guy wants to put up on the pedestal here.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and play it, Robbie.
Indeed, industrial wind farms are killing fields for birds. The more turbines you put up, the more birds you're going to slaughter. According to the American Bird Conservancy in 2017, research shows that hundreds of thousands of birds and bats die every year when they accidentally...
Right, he's quoting an actual place with an actual something in a particular time that did it, and it's just a scrolling amount of numbers. There's no actual fact. It's just...
No, it'll probably go up to the right amount, but it's not. The point is, it's a meaning. They're just trying to give you a big number. This is the definition of fucking propaganda. Yeah. They're trying to give you a big number with no context.
Yeah. That's like what they do with the charts they put up for why 18 years, because if you only do 18 years, it looks like there's been a stagnation. But if you look at an overall trend for over the last century and a half, no.
Yeah.
I saw that was watching that. It was like the anniversary of that. Who was that climate scientist that told Ted Cruz off? You know what I'm talking about? And at the Senate.
I can't remember their name, but I know what you're talking about. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just watch that. That's what basically he said. So it was good.
All right, go ahead and play Robbie, please.
Collide with the turbine blades. That number grows with each turbine built. The Royal Society for the Preservation of Birds reports that wind farms built off the coast of Britain could be the
nothing else. God.
Final nail in the coffin for endangered seabirds. The Center for Biological Diversity calls the Altamont Pass wind farm in California a population sink for golden eagles as well as burrowing owls. As for solar farms, they produce an entirely different set of problems, although they also are very harmful for birds. In California,
Yeah, they really do worry about the birds. Like them per birds.
Yeah, what the fuck?
according to a federal report, massive solar arrays produce heat up to 900 degrees. When birds fly into those arrays, they simply burn up. Building a solar farm is a lot like building any other kind of massive...
Wait. Go on, which way are you going to go?
Well, we have, there is a heating issue, but we also
not a photovoltaics, which is what they're trying to link it to. There's no heating problem with photovoltaics. The issue is with mirrored. I forgot what solar towers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but I was going to add the fact that they're producing a lot of technologies as well. I talked about this the other day, building specific panels that in man-made lakes that the water itself will absorb the heat, and also use that as well. It just this is a little bit much. Hein, what do you think?
To be honest, I haven't heard about the heating issue. I'm kind of surprised that he keeps talking about birds, but
Right?
It's all they've got is the problem. It really is all they've got. But like I said, the water one is fantastic because that is the improvement on the water infrastructure as well.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them installing them across India, and they've managed to massively increase the water going to rural areas just by adding solar panels. The solar panels don't do anything other than block the sun. But they said it means the panels are cooler, they're more efficient, and it means the water contains way less algae, and a lot less of it evaporates. But I'm really annoyed again outright propaganda because they're trying to link photovoltaics with this temperature problem.
Yeah.
And it's just not there. It's a problem with solar, but not with photovoltaics.
Yeah.
As they show you a picture of it.
Well, why would they wouldn't expect our audience to know the difference anyway? So.
Yeah, but there are virtually no solar towers. They've not been cost effective.
Jay's in the chat saying he worked on
what I had said earlier about the wind turbines, I pulled up some statistics. I don't know how accurate they are, but 6.8 million fatalities from collisions with cell and radio towers, compared to 214,000 from the wind turbines. So compare.
Take down the cell towers now. If they care about the birds. Like I said, without a comparison, it's meaningless.
You don't see that kind of challenge for that because they like their cell phones.
PragerU loves birds, hates dogs. Gotcha. Okay. All right, go ahead, player Robbie.
Building a solar farm is a lot like building any other kind of massive industrial facility. You have to clear the whole area of wildlife. For example, in order to construct the Ivanpah Solar Farm in California near the Nevada border, developers hired biologists to pull threatened desert tortoises from their burrows. The tortoises were then loaded on the back of pickup trucks.
Just dumped in the back of a pickup truck after being picked up by a digger.
Did you see the documentary about this? The amount of effort they went to move these was huge.
No. They put them in a digger bucket and dumped them in the back of a pickup. Did you not
Just scoop
see?
them out of the ground like that.
Yeah.
With a loader. Yep.
This is a weird argument to make because, like, any kind of infrastructure, you build anything, you're going to have to move stuff. But at least, if you're just throwing in a fucking mall, people don't give a shit. When you have environmentalists that are building, something like this, they take the time to move things properly. They don't just fucking go in and destroy everything.
Again,
While-
most solar farms have been done by ones that are like this, assuming that is accurate, have been done are backed by universities, and they require study on study on study just to be
environmental impact.
Yeah.
While we're talking about the tortoises, I just want to harken back to something from a couple of years ago. I think it was like pre-Trump America, but do you all remember the Bundy Ranch thing where they occupied that was a National Forest Service building or whatever with their rifles, the sovereign citizen kind of movement? Yeah. The land that they were wanting to use is for their factory farming cattle was land that was protected for desert tortoises. For this, I think it was this same species or one that's really closely related to it. That's what that big stink was about. Is that they wanted to use that land for their cattle farming, but obviously using it for solar farms is just evil.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay. Go ahead, Randy, please.
And caged in pens where many ended up dying. Solar farms also need millions and millions of gallons of water to clean the mirrors and to generate power. Since most solar farms are built in the desert, we're talking about a precious resource already in short supply. When push comes to shove, water could become the real throttle on renewable solar energy, according to Michael Weber, professor of mechanical engineering at the University of Texas at Austin. Then there's the issue of what to do with solar panels that wear out. The panels contain lead and other toxic chemicals that can't be removed without breaking up the entire panel. Since it's far cheaper for solar manufacturers to just buy the raw materials than recycle old panels, those old panels end up in landfills, or as the New York Times discovered in a 2019 investigation, dumped in poor African nations. Wind turbines may have an even worse disposal problem than solar panels. First, they are gigantic. A single blade can be longer than a wing on a jumbo jet. Second, they're made of fiberglass, which has to be cut by a diamond-studded saw to be carted away on giant trucks. And as with solar panels, the only thing to do is bury them, toxic materials and all. This is done, as you can imagine, in enormous pits, creating yet another landfill problem. All this environmental degradation is happening on a relative.
Dave?
How many coal plants does the US still have?
Oh, hold on a second. I know that.
The quantity of waste that they produce on a daily basis from the fucking fuel, not the infrastructure.
Yeah.
That just gets dumped. And they're trying to say that solar's bad.
Titan just looked it up. He says annually 500,000 to 1 million birds are killed in oil pits and evaporation ponds. So petroleum is responsible for killing twice as many birds as wind.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, that was it. Again, it's a meaningless. They're showing you something meaningless because it's so out of context.
These are environmental platitudes. That's all they are.
Yeah.
I will admit I don't know a lot about the disposal of.
Disposal of solar is for shit. It really is. It's a problem, but it's also a problem we are getting better at solving.
And again, it's the same thing with what we talked about with the nuclear. Is the byproduct worse than the byproduct from the fossil fuels we're using now? Hell no. Hell no.
Hein, do you know anything about this? How these energy systems end at all?
No, I don't. Sorry, but it is interesting that he keeps he keeps just stating stuff. He never sure there are disadvantages, but he never compares it to other types of energy. So
it's just it really is. I mean, well, yes, it's not perfect. It is a problem, but you're talking about this, minuscule little amount compared to the amount of continuous pollution and greenhouse gases and other byproducts caused from anything fossil fuels. They don't really seem to have any argument here other than they have a weird fetish for birds and you kind of pollute as well. Do you really see any other big argument here in terms of overall for the video? Anybody?
They're spouting bullshit.
He's listing the negatives.
Yes.
Without a context. It's not. He's not wrong. There's nothing they've said that's wrong. Windmills kill birds. Solar. Go on.
About the cat thing, because cats have wiped species of birds off the planet. Many species. So yeah.
Cats are cons, but you know. So, wait, how much is there? Oh, there is still some left. Okay, go ahead and play it, please.
Relatively small scale right now because we get less than 10% of our electricity from wind and solar sources. If we were really to embark on a wind and solar build out of the kind environmentalists advocate, the damage would be much, much greater. Consider this. Today's energy system requires just 0.5% of the land in the US. If we were to get all the energy we now use from wind and solar, at least 25% of all land in the US would be required.
You commented on this.
This is because this was one snippet from. This is how I ended up finding this video, because I saw somebody tweet about this, and I knew right away that no, that's wrong. It's not 25%. In fact, it's 100. If you were just to power the entire U.S. with just solar, it would take 100 square miles of solar panels, which is 0.6% of the total land area, which is only 0.1% more than how much land area is used to power with what we're using today. So this is just a complete and total fucking lie. But not only that, again, wind and solar are not the only two sustainable or types of sustainable energy. So, you know, it's all moot. What do you guys think?
I think it would be using, if by their logic, you're already using 2.5% of the entire US just for renewables, which is it's insane.
Yeah.
I wonder where they got this figure from.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand the blatant lie that they just seem to completely and utterly pull out of their ass. But that's the problem with channels like this, specifically this channel, is that they're not held to accountable. They're not, nobody question when people who, like my parents who love Fox News and the like, watch this kind of bullshit. They don't look at a number like that and go, oh, I wonder if that's true, and look it up. No, they just believe it, How do we fight? How do you argue against that? They're just going to believe whatever they're told.
It's all right. It's all of the West Coast. They won't mind.
That's a point I try to make all the time, is that it's a generational thing. They grew up in a time where you could trust what you saw on the news, or and they see this as news. This is something that it looks official. They got fancy graphics, and it's from a place that's basically a university. It's so why would you even question that?
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. Like people who call themselves doctors and they're their Twitter handles or whatever, and they're not really doctors, but they want everybody to think they're smart. I wonder how many fuckwits watch PragerU videos and honestly think that they're this is some kind of, even if it's unaccredited university and isn't just a fucking name. It's dangerous, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead and play it, please.
That's a lot of dead wildlife. Doesn't sound very green, does it?
Dead wildlife.
I'm Michael Schellenberger, founder and president of Environmental Progress and author of Apocalypse Never for Prager University. Thank you for watching this video. To keep PragerU videos free, please
now look up oil spills wildlife and let's compare.
Mm-hmm. Huh. All right.
Wait,
Thoughts?
Oh, there's a take the quiz.
Go on.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I can.
Okay.
Hold on.
Blank of birds and bats die every year when they collide with wind turbines. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
How many gallons of water do solar farms need to clean the panels into generators?
Millions.
All of
Millions,
them.
millions. Yeah, all the water.
Solar panels contain lead and other toxic chemicals that can't be removed without breaking up the entire panel. True or false?
Yes,
That's
true.
probably true.
Yeah, whatever the worst answer is. Like
The
currently,
questions are being set up so that for the worst answers.
yeah, currently the United States gets less than blank of its energy from the wind and solar.
10%.
2%.
10%, yeah.
What percentage of the land in the US would be required to get all the energy that now uses from wind and solar?
25.
150%.
There's no 6% man does
No,
right
it was
button.
25. It was 25. They said.
I'm wondering where the 6% don't disagree.
If
with
we
me on
get,
that.
if we get 100%, do we get a PhD?
Yes, from PragerU. Oh, just
That-
passed.
That's it. You just
That's the
passed.
best PhDs that you can have, right?
Oh yeah.
They're better
Hang
than
that shit up on my wall. Okay. Do you guys want to look up another climate change one from PragerU? We didn't take up that one. That was not as long as I thought it was. There was nothing fucking to that one.
It was a pretty
So-
short one, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bird
Is
one.
that okay, you guys? Do you want to look up another one or
Sure.
what was that, Dave?
What? Good.
So really, they only talked about wind and solar, then not like nuclear or water or
Yeah. No. Maybe, and I bet you that most of their audience probably can't name two more sustainable options. They're like wind and solar and water, and that's.
I mean,
it.
the point is, again, True Tech points out the single biggest thing at the moment that the states could do is, and again, investment wise, it's perfect. Is the heat pumps, getting heat pumps into houses?
Geothermals.
Well, they
You've
vaguely
been
do it.
watching an awful lot of technology connections. I
I
was
have,
showing.
but the point is, I'd looked into them before. I was going to build one a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right, but the way he did. Whereas you've got a lot of different land. They've got a lot of different land in the states, so the
Yeah.
way they go about it is a bit different.
He's about
Right, but
6
the
videos out now about these fucking heat pumps. He loves them.
He has.
No. All right, everybody, we'll go around. What's your favorite type of sustainable and why? We'll start with you, Brian.
Probably what is it? Hydro.
Hydroelectric?
Hydraulic. I've seen some different designs for things that haven't, just like stuff that they've. I don't think any of it's patent using tidal energy. I think that's there's a lot of potential there too.
I think
Cool.
Tidal's another 30 years out. 40
It'd be
years out.
neat though. The
Oh,
concepts are, yeah. And would that
they're building this-
tidal?
They have this. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
I would say would tidal be considered hydroelectric? I guess.
No, it's considered tidal.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment they are splitting it into tidal and wave. Most of them are focused on wave rather than tidal. But they're the same problem. The sea is just unrelentless. Unrelenting? Unrelenting.
And let's say they have this system that they're building, and Venice is the one that's kind of flooding, right, in Italy. All right,
Yeah.
is Venice. Yeah, and it's not only is it using the tidal power, but it's also helping to hold back some of the encroaching water that's kind of flooding the city much faster than they thought it would be. So it's really cool. You should look it up. Hein, what about you? Favorite sustainable and why?
I'm gonna say nuclear, I guess, and if it ever becomes
I like that.
I hope fusion. Yeah, I guess mostly because a lot of people apparently are a bit scared of nuclear energy.
Mhm.
Of course, because we had a big accidents of Fukushima and Chernobyl. But I think that's mostly irrational to be afraid of it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say nuclear.
Awesome. I like that. Because like you said, people are it is a really good option, and it's something that needs to be discussed more. Cool. Dave, you?
Geothermal. I mean, geothermal.
Okay. Cool. You have a why, or because what you said before?
No, just normal geothermal, proper geothermal. The digging down. It's the fact that it can pretty much be done anywhere. There are places it's better. I mean, I don't understand why the States. I mean, the States has got fantastic. I mean, you have a bloody super volcano basin. That you can, what?
Were you talking about Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of electricity alone that you could generate around that is obscene. You could power the entire country just on geothermal, just from that.
Oh my.
I don't know how I would feel about them building in the Yellowstone National Park, building some kind of energy infrastructure.
This is the problem. This is where I think that you would need. If you've got to. I think we are at a point where you've got to think big.
Yeah, well, you don't have to. Yeah, just look. There are other places. It doesn't have to be.
True, that's very true.
Land.
And also, you can go quite far out and still kind of get in.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be on the reservation itself.
But I like how, and I mentioned this, I think on one of your quiz shows, was about Iceland using geothermal to keep their streets thawed and cleared in the winter.
Yes. Well, it's one of those things as well that we don't seem to. Again, this is one of those things, right? We actually had a solution. We had a solution 20 years ago, and that is we don't need to come up with new infrastructure. We don't need to. All we need to do is a fucking carbon tax. Okay.
Yes.
Right? And all these things solve themselves because all the heavy industrial users will move to places like Iceland, where electricity is unbelievably cheap.
Yeah.
Right?
You can close this down, Robbie. We can talk. We don't need to watch it right now.
The audience isn't looking at it, just you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I guess
Producer.
I want to get back to the carbon tax, but just get somebody's. Is that me that's echoing really bad? Robbie, you're the last one to answer, and then I wanted to talk about the carbon tax if we could.
Well, I was going to be awkward and say Dyson sphere, but we'll stick with solar panels.
Oh, you're here. You want to expand on that at all, or just because?
Dyson spheres are cool, and they waste no solar power, and no energy is wasted whatsoever. Solar panels I like because they can also generate electricity. My mum has solar panels on the roof. Always have hot water. It's nice to have always hot water in fucking Ireland and not have to worry about it.
They're not going to let us put space lasers in orbit to beam the power bank.
There's a question in the chat from I don't know if I'm saying this right. Faro, the Epistovus. How would we direct the money from carbon taxes? What do you guys think? What would be the best usage of money?
I would want to invest in building a production industry for greener energy by putting that carbon tax money towards that.
To be honest, knowing the US, I'd lower taxes. I wouldn't invest it. I think you want people to win. You put a high carbon tax on, and you lower taxes elsewhere.
Give it back to the people, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The issue you've got right now is we need to make carbon pay.
Yes.
And that's going to hit other people, but you can do it in a roundabout way. So the actual this is the problem where they turn around and say the free market, let the free market solve the problem. This is how you let the free market solve the problem.
Yeah. Hein, where do you think that money should go?
Yeah. I think giving it back to the people would indeed be a good idea. I think that would be the best way to do it. Like sell the idea, I guess. A lot of people will be in favor of it if it's like lowers their taxes. So
Yeah.
I'm going to butt it. Sorry, I'm really sorry because Sandy asks, "How do you make them pay without passing the cost on?" The point is, they would pass the cost on, but all of a sudden, you have an incentive to do it with a cheaper form of electricity, with a cheaper form of power. If it costs you, you know, I don't know how much it costs in the States, all right? But if it costs you £100 to produce a TV using coal as the energy for all your production costs, it would cost you a fraction of that to use geothermal. You can sell a TV that's cheaper. You will instantly be the one that outsells on TVs because you're cheaper. This is why I said about you make the free market find the solution, because there are free alternatives to not using carbon. There will be things that aren't taxed because they don't use carbon.
But we do know that at least in the U.S. that we're giving the carbon tax money back to the people is going to be seen as giving government handouts to the Republicans. That's how they're going to spend that.
Yeah.
That's how they've been spending these COVID relief things. They've been like, oh yeah, it's government handout money.
Is it if it's lowering taxes?
What's that?
Is it if it's lowering taxes?
Is it lowering the tax rate?
If you lower the tax rate,
will they see it the same way?
They see that as a handout.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure they could spin it somehow. They look at things from a corporate perspective instead of from a citizen's perspective. So, if it's bad for industries, for basically bad for the rich people, then they'll show those statistics of how it's bad for industry, how it's bad, and they'll say it's bad, and they'll spin those statistics and say this is economic statistics that show that this is bad for the economy, when it's really just bad for the people that are on top right now.
Yeah.
I think for me, in terms of what to use the carbon tax money for would be to put back into the technology to
research
to fund,
and
like, we get our money, a lot of it from like the National Science Foundation and stuff like that, just putting it back into advancing the science, and the further that we go, the better we have a chance to fight this. So
research and development to bring the cost down and to bring the energy production up for renewables, make them better and cheaper.
Realistic fusion.
Cold fusion.
Research. Cold fusion.
Cold fusion.
Cold.
You get that figured out yet?
Cold, not
cold
cold fusion. All right, it's not like clean coal. All right, cold with a D.
I know. Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
Explain to me why every coal plant in the world does not have carbon capture yet.
Well, like you said, the technology is, how much, Hein, how much do you know about carbon capture technology?
I don't know anything about it. No.
No, see, it's not something that is, widely available yet. It's, it's a relatively
saying that Hein doesn't work in a coal plant. He doesn't fucking need to know about it. The people in the industry need to know about it, and they do.
I don't know how scalable it is the issue. I know there's lots of technologies. Sorry, you keep going.
I'm speaking to the fact that it is still relatively new. It's very expensive. The technology is still progressing, rapidly, yes, but there's still a ways to go. I don't know, how feasible it is to outfit every single coal-fired plant, like the snap of a finger to fix it at the moment. I don't know enough about it. So, and that's me actually working in the industry. So it speaks to how much is out there is all I'm saying. So, yeah. I don't know. Anybody else?
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's pretty straightforward, right?
It's simple, but at the end of the day, as Dave said, it's all about money. It's about making these simple things actually make money, or cheaper for people to actually do it. Making people, enforcing them in the direction that this will make money, putting the carbon tax on them, so it will be cheaper to make a TV to go this way, so they will make a saving. Charging them to do and to go and breach these lines to go out of the way, so that it is a financial cost to them, and a financial reason to go to solar energy, to go to renewables in general. We need to force the money that direction, because that's all they give two flying fucks about.
Yeah.
The grifters that you see on Fox News, the Tucker Carlsons of the world out there, when they tell you that these carbon taxes will be bad for the economy, please keep in mind that they're talking about it being bad for the people that are on top right now. That is what they mean when they say the economy. It's how well the rich people are doing.
There's a reason that that big oil is the largest lobbyist group in America. They have the most to gain with the most manipulation of the laws. So what is that? How is that comparable in the Netherlands, Hein? You know, do you have a lot of pushback from any party in your government that seems to kind of side with big oil like the Republicans do here in America?
I'm not that much into politics, to be honest, but I think the pushback is way, if I would guess, I'd say it's way worse basically in the US than it is here. Like, we have a pretty big party here. It's called Green Left in English, which would actually, be in favor of more, green energy, of course. And it's a pretty big party here. So I'd say it's
in terms of sustainability, I know the Netherlands is quite a ways ahead of America. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but the Netherlands uses a bigger percentage of sustainable energies than the U.S. does. But then again, so do pretty much most first world countries in the world. So we're not exactly a sustainable nation, especially, right?
I think the Netherlands is not, like, compared to other European countries, I believe the Netherlands is like doing pretty badly actually with in terms of sustainable energy. Countries like Norway are doing way better. But I can imagine it's doing better than the United States, but we should have been doing better by now.
Okay, I just got a message going, help.
Okay.
Help.
Sorry.
She's back. So you were talking about how America was great and everything is sustainable like your internet. Go on ahead.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I guess in terms of, what the rights argument is pretty much very comparable to what this video's argument is. It's incredibly weak. Why fight against the fight against climate change? I think maybe we could end on that. Just everybody give their 2 cents on why they think, they take on this fight. They're so adamant against accepting the science.
It's not
So,
accepting
who
the
wants to
science,
start?
it's the loss of money.
All right, go ahead, Robbie, then.
Well, that's it. Studies have been shown if you're trying to give incentive for somebody to do something, and you say to them, look, I will give you 20 quid if you do this, they'll be like, all right, they might do it. But if you give them 20 quid and say, I will take it off you if you don't do this, they have a higher incentive. It's more of a drive for that person. And the fact that we are, fighting to tax the rich and fighting for equality and things like that, they are losing their power, they're losing their grip. And as I say, it's been shown that they will panic, they will hold on to it, they do not want to let go of it, and they will work twice as hard as anyone else because they already have it. They don't want to lose it.
I mean, how much did Cock put behind Trump?
How much cock did you put in Trump?
What?
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Sorry, all of it.
That's the second time I used this joke, but the last time it was water, and this time it's cock, which is much better.
The point is that the glut of coal that came from Trump, he is single-handedly responsible for massively increasing the CO2, the coal output of the states.
Coal or carbon?
Coal.
Yeah. No, he
carbon as well on the back of it, but you know,
how many environmental acts did he roll back? It was like 89, wasn't it, Amanda?
90, or it was, I think it was 101 he pushed for, and 99 went through.
And those were mostly fossil fuel related, right? Related to the fossil fuel industry. So
yeah,
digging up wildlife.
Yeah, he made it easier to for the government to go in and explore for energy on national forests. I hope a lot of these things Biden has taken back, but there was Obama had a big plan. I can't remember the climate change initiative that he completely wiped out. Of course, taking us out of Paris. There was thing after thing after thing, and even especially in the last 3 or 4 months of his presidency, when he knew he wasn't getting another 4 years, he really repped it up a notch and got rid of as many. He sold off some land, of course, on the pipelines, and yeah, it was an enormous mess. And it was, I have a video actually, Trump and that I put out around the election that's really interesting. It goes over some of that stuff. So, but yeah. So who was next? So Dave went. Who wants to go next? Hein, you want to talk about why you think they do this? Why you think they fight so hard against accepting the science of climate change?
Yeah, honestly, I'm still dumbfounded, I guess, by how stupid the video was, but also, are they maybe like sponsored or something by some oil organization, or maybe
right?
birth or something? I don't know. It's
money, right?
I think they've accepted climate change. That's the thing. I think they just know that they can make money out of it in the short term.
It's not always a direct financial incentive too. Sometimes it's the promise of a position on their board or whatever, or some kind of investment opportunity into their industry that's not necessarily directly linked. That's what we saw with like the Bush era. A lot of the people in his cabinet had ties to. Yeah. Anyway,
they have a different mentality about when we looked from a security perspective. Over and over again, the rich in the States are under the impression that the society is in some way going to collapse, and a lot of them now are fairly certain it's climate change that is going to cause it. Right? And here's the problem: they don't think we can fix it. Now, them not thinking we can fix it means that they are going to try and extract as much as possible out of the economy now, so they are better placed to survive it. So, this is bordering on conspiracy. My apologies. But my point is that they can accept climate change, but they don't agree with that trying to solve it by reducing it is the solution. Rather, they try and survive it.
Yeah.
And if you go down that route, they are very against you trying to solve it because it's going to cost them money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not going to affect them because they can afford to live through it. At the end of the day, climate change is not going to kill the planet. It's just going to kill lots of people and lots of animals.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be them it kills.
No.
right.
I wanted to. Dave had brought up the thing about coal jobs when Trump was president, and I just want to talk about. I was looking up a number real quick. In fact, one of the reasons that because coal mining was nearly all but phased out for all intents and purposes. Even more so under Obama, we had, there's no need for it. It's not even that practical of an energy source. But I looked it up, and so under Trump, we had 50,000 mining jobs as compared, and that was what I think he added a third. So 20,000 or so jobs that he had added, which is actually a substantial amount. But this is comparable to in 1923 when there were 863,000 coal miners. So like I said, the coal mining industry was pretty much dead. But he did it specifically because there were certain areas, I think in West Virginia and a couple of other places that are coal country that were, in his corner. He was just playing to his people. So he, added added more jobs in the industry, a lot more pollution, all to get these votes. It was kind of pointless in the end, but I just wanted to look that up. Sorry, random thought. Who was next? Brian?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I kind of went on a rant about it when Hein did his. I agree with what he said. It's that they're lobbied to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's essentially it. It just comes down to money, and that's it. They don't give a fuck about the environment. It's money and power. That's all the Republicans care about. So,
I guess they could stop calling themselves a university then. But
what was that?
To say that. Oh, I said I think they should stop calling themselves a university if it's all about money.
It's called Prager Bank,
Yeah.
To bring it in.
Guess
Propaganda.
Point, but
Pragerganda. That's what it is. I like that. All right. Does anybody have any closing thoughts or anything to shill? Dave, you start.
I've got a quiz on Tuesday, hopefully. Anything to chill? We need to do something about this now, or you may as well stop caring, because we really need to do something, and it needs to be big. It can't be shit, and I don't have the good solution because everyone is lying to everyone, and no one seems to want to take seriously the scale of changes we need to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. Thank you. Hein, closing thoughts and anything to show?
Yeah, I agree. We do need to do something big. Also, everybody, I guess, can try and do their own small parts in preventing climate change. Yeah.
Do you have anything special coming up on your channel or anything that you want to show?
Oh no, I was talking about a YouTube channel, but I have a very I don't have an active YouTube channel, so no.
Okay. But I'm so glad that you came, and I hope that we'll be able to snag you back for more of these. I think, like I told you guys before, I think we're going to do this once a month. Have a bad science type of panel. Although this month we might do it twice because Dr. Stephen Hobbs, we wanted to do an anti-vax thing, so we might do that next weekend. We'll see. So, but we would love to have you back anytime. Thank you seriously so much for I know you haven't been on a panel with us before, and we can be a lot when we're together, and you really held your own. We appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sorry if we were rude.
Oh no, I really appreciate you guys having me on here. It's great. Thank you.
Of course.
Welcome to the club.
Yes, welcome. We cannot wait for you to come back. Brian, you?
I got the bee imposter thing that I'm doing on Monday. They're going to be really short though. I also got some Mantis updates, and I have. Oh yeah, I'm going to go over the fossils that we collected when we went to Maison Creek. So that should be fun stuff.
Awesome. Very cool. Robbie?
Nothing planned. You'll see me about. Sure, we'll get something sorted.
Okay. Yeah, I have a video I'm working on this week that I'm very excited about, and I'm also maybe starting another show with a friend of mine. That sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm not going to talk about it. But it sounds really cool, and I'm really excited about it. So, I guess that is it. To everybody in the chat, thank you for coming. I hope you guys had fun. Oh, what?
Mr. Bear has just gone with the video. You want to send people to there if we're off?
Oh, yes. Is he streaming or?
I don't know. I didn't click the link.
Yeah, throw the link in, Mister. You guys know.
No, it's an upload. It's an upload.
Atheist.
It's only an upload.
It's an upload. Still, go watch it when you're done here, Mister. If you don't know Mr. Bear, he's fucking hilarious and amazing and brilliant. So go give his video a watch and go sub to him too if you aren't subscribe to him because he's really cool. Yeah. So I guess I don't know what we're doing next weekend. We might do, like I said, the anti-vax thing. Other than that, I have, like I said, the video I'm working on this week that I'm really excited about. You guys are gonna love it. And I guess we will see you all next time. Until then, everyone, don't forget to think critically. Night, everyone.
Bye.